What's up, guys? It's the Farooqi Brothers back with another Built Different stream. And today for you guys, we got a bunch of topics, shorter stream than normal, but we got a few topics from new releases to the latest rumors for The Flash, DC fandom, and something from Super Smash Brothers as well. So let's get right into it. I want to start the first topic with No Time to Die. So this movie, as we've been covering for the pandemic the last 2 years, has been delayed continuously. But finally, I think with the success of movies like Venom and Shang-Chi and seeing that the vitality of the box office is strong now, No Time to Die did release this weekend, and Zion and I got a chance to see it. So the two of us will take this topic solo and quickly talk about what we thought in a no spoiler 2-3 minutes, because I think this movie's, if you're interested in this franchise, it's one that I think is worth going in fresh over. So no spoilers today, but let's get right into it. Zion, what did you think about No Time to Die?
Honestly, I thought it was pretty good. Overall, from start to finish, it was a really great conclusion to like Daniel Craig's saga as James Bond. It was obviously a longer movie. A lot of people have different thoughts about that. It was around 2 hours 40 minutes. Though they had like the that opening credits and ending credits, so I guess that kind of adds to like the extra runtime. But I thought it was pretty good. I really had no overall big complaints. We've never been too invested in the James Bond like filmography, but we've kept an eye on it over the years, and we know the basic idea and the story and the characters. So I thought overall it was a good conclusion to a story. It's going on for a couple of years now, like a good amount of time actually. So it was obviously bittersweet knowing, all right, this is the final film where he's going to be James Bond, and we're going to have a new one next time. So just seeing how the conclusion went, what happened in the story, I thought everything was done pretty well. All the acting was great. The score was great. We had Hans Zimmer on it. I thought really no big complaints. So I thought it was overall just good conclusion to the James Bond arc.
For me, I'm very similar. I actually gave it 4.5 stars on my review, which you can read it. Again, shameless plug that I tend to do with these reviews. But I also felt like there was no issues. The only issue I had, and this is rare because I don't mind longer movies, but I felt the runtime of this movie, it being close to 3 hours, it did hurt the movie just a bit, only because the pacing of it was so slow that at times I was hyper aware that, oh, this movie is getting longer and longer and it's not ending. This is always like a fourth or fifth act that's on the way. But it's not a major gripe. That's why I only reduced it by 0.5 star from being a 5-star movie. I think personally it's the best of the James Bond films, of the Daniel Craig era. I haven't seen the other ones, admittedly. But a Spectre could be obviously right there as number one. But this, I think, took over just because it had a strong emotional depth to it. And surprisingly, there's so many copycat James Bond franchises now, where like so many things are trying to be James Bond, trying to be, we've seen Jason Bourne. There's so many things that are like versions of James Bond, but the original franchise, the way it is, when you do watch it, you see that it does stand apart. And I do agree that Hans Zimmer's score was great. There's a lot of Dark Knight notes in there, but
this is the only one you've seen?
No, this is the only one I've seen. This 5, like the 5 Daniel Craig movies, but there's 25 James Bond movies, right? But I've only seen this saga of it, this era of James Bond. So, yeah. So I'm saying from the era, the Daniel Craig era's movies, I think this is the best one. But I haven't seen the previous actors who have played him, so who have played the character. So I can't be like, oh yeah, here's my expertise on the James Bond franchise. But overall, I thought it was great. I think it's worth seeing, even if you're somewhat new to the franchise, because again, it has such a good emotional core to it, and the writing is really strong. So that's my quick thoughts on James Bond. Umar and Samir haven't seen it yet, but I don't know, Samir, do you have a hot take on like who should be the next James Bond? Because now his era is over. Do you have like any actor you're like, oh, this guy should play him? I don't know if you do or not, but I'll ask anyways.
I want Idris Elba to play him. That's my take.
All right. Umar, I know since you love the Snyderverse.
What about Henry Cavill?
I was going to say that you being the Snyderverse shield that you are, that you would be, of course, interested in Henry Cavill taking the role. But is that seriously what you want?
If you give him no lines, then maybe it could work.
Maybe,
They've done that with Superman, kind of, no? So.
Yeah, and that was some of his best work. It's true.
So I think they should go for an Asian James Bond.
That would actually be.
Just break the mold, just go a completely new way. I think that'd be pretty sick. He could obviously be British, but he's an Asian man. He's an Asian person.
That'd be kind of sick, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we know that they're going to take some time to figure out who's going to play the character next, and obviously Idris Elba has been one of the names that people have been mentioning often the last few years. But Henry Cavill's also been on that list. Tom Holland, I saw mention. I think he's too young to play, depending how far they're rebooting this character. But like Hollywood, they're going to keep cycling the same 5 names for everything. So the chances of them picking someone new and letting someone else get a chance to freshly kind of create their legacy is very low. But who knows? Let's see. Okay, so we're going to shift out of No Time to Die and into the DC universe because The Flash had all sorts of rumors this last week, and one in particular caught some social media fire. So I thought it's worth bringing up today and to talk about what this means. Again, grain of salt. It's not necessarily true, but a lot of the rumors about this movie over the course of multiple script rewrites has been leaning towards rebooting or refreshing what the DCEU is. So just to give you guys a quick recap of what the rumor of this week coming from Daniel RPK, it's basically that throughout the movie, the Flash is going to be revisiting every single DCEU film. Well, maybe not every single one, but the majority of DCEU films, and alter in some way or like make a change or change the direction of certain things just by moving a hair here and there. So, for example, Man of Steel was one of the movies that was mentioned directly as what the Flash will travel to. He's going to travel to the third act of Man of Steel. The only reason that I'm actually going to bring, usually I don't talk about rumors offhand. The reason I'm adding credibility to this is that there's also a report, not a report, but another rumor from a separate source that said that the stunt actress for Faora from Man of Steel is cast in this movie to play Faora. So that leads me to believe does that character have a role in some way in this movie? And if they are tying Man of Steel and the Flash together, that would give this overall rumor that the Flash is revisiting multiple movies a little bit more truth. But again, there is a lot of grains of salt to make sure, because we don't know what is going on with this movie as it's still a year away. Maybe we'll find out more at DC Fandom, but I want to talk about it conceptually, if this is an idea that will necessarily work or not work. And Umar, I know you had a hot take on this one, so what do you think about this rumor in particular?
I don't actually think it's a hot take. I think that what their plan, like the plan that they've had. First of all, like the Flash, for those who don't know, like the Flash has been changed and rewritten, and there's like a million scripts, and then there was the stuff with Ray Fisher, letting him go, which obviously leaves a pretty bad taste in most people's mouth. And then on top of that, I just feel like they've struggled. Like when you look at their history, what was the worst? Like if I was to ask you, like what was the worst DCEU movie to date? And most people are gonna say either Wonder Woman 1984 for Zion, or if we're being truthful, like the Justice League movie that they released in 2017, right? And the um the intention behind what that came out to be was very similar to how they're going about doing the Flash. Like they have a certain vision in mind, and they want to take the movie that way, and they're willing to do a lot of like gymnastics to make that happen, even if it doesn't actually cater to the character at hand. Justice League was a bit different because you're trying to get a bunch of heroes, and it's like the first one. But for the Flash, it's the Flash movie. We've already talked about how the Batman was like. It seems very much like a Batman movie. Everything has been towards that, marketed towards that. And I feel like this movie's gonna struggle when it comes to like this movie feeling like a Flash movie, even if he's the one that's going to all these different movies. Um, like what's the intention behind that? Like and if it is to reboot, right? You're still gonna have like you're still gonna have major issues like trying to make this into a Flash centric thing, even if he is the main like thread line. I just feel like you're gonna struggle. That's what I feel like. So the more I hear about these ideas, it seems like they're very on the fly, or maybe it's like the news that we're getting through different sources is like very confusing because it's coming out maybe not in the like in sequence, so we're getting different things at different points. Uh, so you never know fully, but for me, like personally, I'm not really confident in this one. Like, I feel like there'll be cool moments, but I feel like we're gonna come out of it liking it, and then have to let a couple days go by, and we'll just be like, this movie's actually garbage.
Yeah, well, there's two trains of thought that I've been seeing the overall fandom kind of branch into. One is that, well, there's three if you count Ray Fisher. So one that I'm seeing, if you count just the movie alone, it's that this is rebooting and destroying kind of previous movies, and it's actually worse to go back and change something than not acknowledge it at all. So some people feel like, hey, if you're going back and, for example, stopping Superman from killing Zod, which is not what's going to happen, but I'm throwing a hypothetical, then that's actually messing up the continuity of Man of Steel as a movie, right? Or BVS, if they stop, I don't know, if they stop Martha and Martha and Thomas Wayne from dying in the beginning of BVS, then Ben Affleck's Batman never happened, right? Which would give room to Mike Keaton to jump in, right? If you do something like that, it completely erases a movie. So some people feel very like off-put by that. Why are you guys doing this? That's one train of thought. The other train of thought is that, well, how can the Snyderverse really be dead if they're actually revisiting it and all the rumors that they're stepping away from it maybe is not all that truthful if they're actively going into those movies and showing it again? Because a true studio, if they really wanted nothing to do with those old movies, they wouldn't even talk about it again. They'd be like, I just ignore it, never happened. But instead, this rumor is that they're physically going into these movies and revisiting them and using actors like Faora, for example, again from the original trilogy, right? So those are two trains of thought. And then, of course, there's one that Umar mentioned, which the fact that Ray Fisher got fired from the movie is always going to leave a lot of fans very disheartened by it. And some will actually never come to accept this movie based on that one thing alone. So, again, there's multiple ways people are branching off about it. But, Zion, I don't know if any of these three of these branches are one that you are following or if you have your own thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I agree with almost every point we made. It really is just looking like a mess of a movie the more and more we hear about it. And, you know, it really just depends on how they go approach it story-wise. Like, let's take away all the behind the scenes or like set stuff with Ray Fisher or Warner Brothers and think about what could they possibly be doing story-wise. And the first thing that comes to mind is like Avengers Endgame. Is like, are they just trying to copy Avengers? Like, oh yeah, as a fun way of going back, or is it actually substantially part of the story? But then again, once you do that, you take the focus away from Flash and his story, and you're just like, all right, hey, remember this movie? Now Flash is in it. Now, if they do something like a reverse Flash, where he's like, okay, I'm gonna mess with history, and that forces Flash to now go back and chase him into those past scenes or past movies, then like, okay, that makes sense in the story context. But if they use it like in a joking way, that, oh yeah, here's Flash in all these old movies, like in the background, like, you know, like Brian and Stewie went like the first episode of Family Guy, like something dumb like that, that would be just like, honestly, it wouldn't be surprising if it happened anymore, because I don't know what kind of mess the movie is going to be, but it would be very disappointing. And I hope they approach it the right way, because if they don't, then it'll just make the movie even more of a mess than it already seems. So it just, how are they going to approach it? What are they going to do with it? What kind of story threads are they using to even make this possible, to make going into other movies, going to the past, even like a viable thing for the story? I have very low expectations, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think one of the rumors for Reverse Flash, again, we haven't seen who the villain is of this movie. There's a lot of heroes, a lot of cameos, but no news on who the villain is. But we have seen from set videos that there are two Ezra Millers, a stunt double and the real one, wearing different clothes and interacting with each other. So a lot of that gives way to thinking that, you know, maybe Ezra Miller is playing both Flash and Reverse Flash, which I think would be kind of interesting. It would give the actor himself some an interesting challenge to approach, and I think that would be very cool thematically if like Reverse Flash is the corrupted version of Barry Allen, who's like going back and just doing crazy stuff. But again, I feel like it's been retreaded. Like Aurelius, yeah. But I feel like it's been kind of treaded on the Flash TV show as well. I guess they've done very similar with who was the villain? I don't know. The villain who was actually Barry Allen returned evil.
Because
Savitar.
Actually, because I've been very negative with this movie, I actually think that would be a pretty cool idea, actually. Like, because I think Ezra Miller would be able to pull it off as an actor. Like, I think he actually do a pretty good job.
You know, I feel like the two Barry Allens on set, it was something dumb like, oh yeah, he meets his past self or something like that. I don't think if he's going to be Reverse Flash, I'd be completely shocked if they actually go that route.
Yeah, Samir. So I mentioned like the three different ways that people are feeling about this movie. When you hear this idea of them going back to each individual DC film and changing one small thing, do you think that's a good idea or is it a bad idea?
I don't think it's a good idea. I agree with Zion and Umar. I think it's making the movie a lot more complicated. I think the way they're going to handle it, it's just going to make the whole whole the universe itself is already unstable. The way they've been handling it, I think it's just going to make it even more complicated. And if he's going back in time, what does this mean for the Peacemaker show? You know what I mean? And I disagree with you. I don't think they should make Ezra Miller Reverse Flash. I think that would be a terrible idea. I think it would make it even more complicated than it already is. And they did it with Savitar in the CW, and it was pretty bad. Plus, using him as Reverse Flash would just be a complete waste of the character. I think Reverse Flash is a great character, and they should just go with the Eobard Dawn main Reverse Flash.
Zion, what's funny right now? You want to share with the class?
It's just this CW show is so bad. It's so bad. Everything about it's so bad. It used to be good, but like once you got the whole Savitar season onward, now it's just like
I actually have a really, really good question. Think about this. Just the saber fight that they had right at the end. Compare that to the dueling that we got in the new trilogy, right? Force Awakens and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. I'm not saying CGI. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying who did that fight better. Like just in terms of like the saber.
Listen, we know it was the Star Wars trilogy, just not play around. But we got so our boy Rhymeslim
I
feels
don't
like
even know what he's talking about.
I don't know. He's talking about the fight with Godspeed and Flash. The one was on. We never saw the episode, but it was on like Twitter, right? Yeah. So Rhymeslim saying that Eobard did make like a Barry, it could be in disguise. They could do a lot of things like that. I feel sorry for Ezra. Should be Flash, whatever movie this is. I also agree with that. Now Uzi feels like the CW shows are doo-doo, but our boy Saf says it's so good. So there's a disagreement. And is the DCEU a mess? It probably is right now. Yeah. So overall, I think that this movie can go a lot of ways. I do think it might be just borderline watchable, like when it finally does come out. So I think Umar's right by that point where we might come out of it saying, hey, that was not bad. And then when you start dissecting it, it's like, what happened, and it really depends on how much of a producer-driven movie it is. So is this really Walter Hamada's fingerprints making this movie, or is it Andy Muschietti? For what it's worth, Andy Muschietti is a good director, and he's directed pretty good movies. So he has a certain visual style, and he's a visionary, him and his wife together. So it is a good duo. Like in a perfect world, they could create a very good Flash movie. Now, how much are producers getting in the way of that, and how much of what the Flash could be is being tainted by an overall universe point, I think, which Umar made. Like if your whole point is just to make another movie, another universe, then this movie is not really a movie; it's just a launch pad. So I don't know if what the right move is, but Meg just wants a Flash origin. I think that's what a lot of people want. A lot of people want a Flash solo movie because I don't know if Xander, you're going to make this point, because after Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, that one sequence alone of Barry Allen turning back time and doing everything, he was a show stealer, and the rest of Justice League almost didn't matter in those few minutes. It was just by him talking to his father in his head and making it happen, right? And that's enough of a linchpin to make an entire movie off of his guilt of his father being in jail, his guilt for not saving his mother. And if you want to do a version of Flashpoint, you can do so. But what they're doing right now is more of, here's how to reboot the DCU 101, written by Walter Hamada. So,
that is a perfect point, because that's what I'm afraid of. Zack Snyder's Justice League set up Flash in such a great way that you can do so much with this character and take him into really cool places. But the fear is that everything coming out of this makes me feel like they're going to make the Flash more like his 2017 Justice League counterpart rather than its not a good counterpart, which would make sense in the producer-driven version of the movie, because you can look at Venom, like when we thought that Andy Serkis he was going to make a certain way, when we came out of the movie, we're like, yeah, this was clearly a producer-driven movie and not as much of a director-driven movie. And now the same worries with the Flash, where, yeah, you have the Muschiettis, you know what they're capable of, you know they can make a good story, but how much of the producer's hand will be in the movie, mixing things, changing things. And that brings the fear that, all right, is this Flash going to be more akin to Zack Snyder's Justice League, or more like the goofy newcomer Flash that he was in 2017's Justice League, which was obviously one of the worst iterations of Flash?
Irony is a lot of the set photos show him having the haircut of the 2017 Justice League, specifically the reshoot haircut. But hey, that's just me having fun with it. What are you saying, Omar?
I was saying that it's actually not. It's pretty obvious, like with Faora being like a big part of it, that they're setting up like a Supergirl thing. Like they're gonna be setting up like all those people are gonna get their own like kind of setup in the movie. You can tell this movie is not like, I don't know. Like, I want to hold out hope somehow, but I'm starting to feel like this thing is gonna be garbage.
Let me play devil's advocate, because now I can bring up another movie. Let me bring up Doctor Strange 2, for example, or even Spider-Man No Way Home. Both these movies are technically, as of right now from the rumors, tossing aside their main characters, so Tom Holland, Spider-Man, or Doctor Strange himself, in favor of multiverse and squishing lots of things together and making a crazy movie of lots of different Marvel stuff in one shot, right? But then again, The Flash is doing the same thing. So what is the difference between what Marvel's doing with Doctor Strange and what am I muted? And what and then what the Flash is doing? Is there a difference?
We're laughing at you because the MCU.
I know the answer. It's a very easy answer, but I'm just want to give you guys something to talk about.
You know what? Because you said that, you're gonna ask your own question.
The easy question is, the Spider-Man is a third movie of a trilogy, so that 2 movies to set up Tom Holland, and Doctor Strange also had multiple movies to set him up. That's the real answer. I know that. It's why I wanted you to say it. I give you guys an alley.
No, also, you're bringing back people Spider from the past. I think it's an echo, but you're bringing Spider from the past. It's different. Those are already pre-established characters that everybody knows about. You know what the story is. You know what they've been through. The Flash is setting up brand new characters in this universe, which is going to take up screen time. To take up story time away from the Flash, which hurts him, as like you said, it's his first solo movie. So it's like, why throwing in all these other new elements to introduce for future stuff rather than just focus on the character whose film it is? Spider-Man is not gonna suffer from that because, like you said, it's the third in the trilogy, and the characters you're bringing back in the story you're doing is bringing things to the past that are already established. So it's not going to be the same.
I just want to say that, Umar, I threw you an alley-oop on that one, and you became like Ben Simmons, and at the hoop, you just kind of threw it back to me to answer.
Yeah.
Because it was such an easy answer. I just wanted you to say it.
Yeah, and if I was Ben Simmons, I wouldn't have even showed up for this. So
it's true. It's true.
But also, you know, if you change the title of this movie to Justice League, okay, this is Justice League 2, and then you just go all in, put Henry Cavill in, put in Rayford, like, you could, this same movie, the same concept as a Justice League movie, marketed in that way, would actually not be too bad. Like, it wouldn't be too crazy.
A lot of people have compared this movie to Civil War. So, but Civil War, again, was a third movie of a trilogy. But it would be kind of like if Captain America 1 was Civil War, then I think a lot of people would have even been more harsh on that movie. And that movie's aged pretty poorly, in my opinion. But still, people would have. Well, Umar, you disagree on that? You want me to make this whole thing about if Civil War aged well or not?
Winter Soldier is pretty good, but also
I didn't say Winter Soldier.
What did you say?
I said Civil War.
Oh, okay, yeah, Civil War did a pretty bad.
Yeah. But I'm saying if people compare to Civil War as in, like, you know, it's the third movie of Captain America, but he was very much a very small part, really, and what overall is setting up Spider-Man, setting up the future of setting up Infinity War, kind of. So Venom 2 was straight. We weren't talking about Venom 2, but that we talked about it last week. I don't know if you want to hear our thoughts on it, but I don't know. Overall, I mean, we are being very harsh in this movie. I think it's because we're coming in with a lot of like frustrations over not only behind the scenes stuff, but also everything we're hearing does feel like a genuine mess. So we're kind of calling it as we see it. There is a chance, of course, that it does somehow fit together and it does work. As I have right here, that Ben Affleck himself said it was really fun to do this movie compared to doing Justice League. Then again, anything is more fun than filming Justice League. So that's that. This is not necessarily breaking news, but it is interesting that Affleck, who is obviously a seasoned actor, knows the difference between productions, has only sung praises with working with Andy Muschietti. So it's hard to tell like what to kind of buy stock in for this movie, but it can either be one of the biggest messes of 2022 or it can end up being one of the biggest surprises. I don't think it's going to even come close to what Matt Reeves is doing with the Batman personally, but I don't know. I mean, Meg mentioned that I think a trilogy for Flashpoint could work. It's too much for one film. Yeah, I think even this was like, if they went the Infinity War, even the Harry Potter style of part 1, part 2, I think even that would have been more kind of graspable. Like, here's Flashpoint in 2 parts and take it one at a time. But it's just, yeah, who knows what's going on with this movie. It's going to be interesting to see.
And the Muschietti's already done a part 1, part 2 with it. So it's like they have experience of breaking up story that way.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I have one small key art that's like, you know, like what movie could look like. So I mean, from like very fanboy perspective, like, oh look, it's Ben Affleck's Batman and Keaton and Grant Gustin and Sasha Kaye and everyone's there in one shot, all these heroes. But is it gonna work or not is the big question. We won't know. And maybe next week when DC Fandom, I don't think there's gonna be a trailer or even a teaser, but there's gonna be a behind the scenes quick, like here's a featurette. So they're gonna do a little bit about the Flash, but I don't expect too much big news even this fandom unless they really have something kind of small to set up with Supergirl. But I don't expect much. It'll be interesting what happens next. The Flash Rider doesn't have the best track record, so that really depends on how you felt about movies like Birds of Prey. It depends how you felt about her track record with Transformers. I think she did. So the latest one, Bumblebee, rather. But I think she is talented. It just matters of what kind of overall direction you're going in. But yeah, let me switch from the Flash to something from Joaquin Phoenix. He made a point this week where he says she's unsure if Joker 2 is going to happen, which we talked about last week of Joker being on production sheets and showing up as a possible movie. But Joaquin, when he was asked about it, he said, there are some things we can do with this guy that could explore him further. But as to whether we actually will, I don't know. So I'm going to give you guys just a quick one. So maybe you can answer it. Like, when you hear these comments, do you feel like they should just let it go? Like, let Joker just stand alone as it was and don't make a sequel?
I think they should. I think Joker was great on its own. Risking a sequel to that would just almost ruin the first one. I think it's not worth it if they're just unsure. I think they should just let Joker stand alone.
Yeah, I mean, we make this point so many times. I don't know if one of you guys can probably expound on it very easily, but there's so many characters you can do a one-off movie with, Clayface or Mr. Freeze. If you want to like unearth different characters, or even Deathstroke, like we mentioned in another podcast, there's so many people you can give that budget to and like make a character study of a villain. I think Joker, we've got one shot with him. I don't think we need to go again unless there's a really good vision that both Joaquin and even Todd Phillips, who won't direct this movie if it does come out, but he will probably be writing and producing it, what they have to do. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, either of you two. But
Luthor, yeah. I think Luthor would be a pretty sick one, especially if it was your idea, right, Charlie? You think you put it on the chat, like having Superman as like silhouette and like his relationship.
Yeah, I wrote an article about it. For the Hollywood Reporter 2 years ago, so it's been a while now. But in the article, I wrote that the next film after Joker should be a Lex Luthor solo film, and it doesn't matter who you cast. In my head, when I was writing the article, I was picturing Mahershala Ali in my head, and I was like, oh yeah, if you want to make a solo Lex Luthor movie, make him Lex and just let him go off with it. But that doesn't seem like it's happening anymore, especially now that he's Blade. And I don't think they're going to make a Lex movie in general. So I don't know. Zian, any thoughts on this quick topic?
I think the studios and everybody should 100% defer to Joaquin because you can't do the film without him. They shouldn't even consider recasting him to continue his Joker. So if he's feeling unsure about it, they should just let it go and move on with other projects.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way. Like, let's see someone else pull something else off. I know $1 billion on a micro budget, and Oscar you can't really turn that away and say, hey, don't make more of this. So I'm sure the studio wants it.
I slightly disagree. I think that they should try their best to get him into a room and try to see if they can actually. He's saying that they can explore something further. Well, then like explore that with him in a room. Try to see if you can actually pull it off, and throw money at him and see if you could do it. I think it would be something that's cool to see. I get like there's a risk because you could ruin the first one. But I think he could still pull something off. It just depends what. Like, what is the idea for him? Like, ask the actor, and go from there. See if you could make things happen.
Yeah. Overall, I feel the same way. So I got one quick topic, and we're gonna do something fun, and then we'll probably end off early. But quick other film news of the week. Cillian Murphy has officially been cast. I think there's no surprise. I think Christopher Nolan has a set of 3 people that he uses for all his movies. So I knew it was going to be one of these guys. So he's been cast in the next Nolan film, Oppenheimer, which is going to be a World War II film and come out for Universal Studios. And we talked about it ad nauseum about his whole beef with Warner Media and how they handle the HBO Max release and how he's now broken his relationship with Warner Brothers in favor of Universal. So Zian, do you wish that maybe Nolan was a little more original with his casting choices, or are you okay with just go with what you're comfortable with?
I think I'm fine with it. Cillian Murphy's obviously he's a great actor, so Nolan's comfortable with these actors. He knows who he works with best. I think go with it and make something special with the people you know. I don't have any issue with it, honestly.
Yeah. Samir, what about you? Do you have any issue with the casting? I don't think you even care.
I have no issue with it whatsoever.
All right. It's like next slide, please. But but that was a deep cut. So a question like, did they really turn down on Mike Flanagan in Clavius movie? From my understanding, yes. But I haven't done too much research about it. I think he did make a comment himself, Brett, that he pitched it and it didn't end up being taken. But it's Warner Brothers. We've seen amazing pitches come in and out their door, and they will turn it down if it doesn't fit the very the straight and narrow path that they've built for their DC universe. So it is what it is, right? All right, it's time to talk about some news that only three of us are going to care about, and no one else in the who's watching is going to care. But I care, so I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to risk copyright by straight up putting 30 seconds of the trailer. So just sit back and enjoy. Shed some tears. But yes, Sora has been confirmed for Super Smash Brothers, and I've actually brought out the whole Keyblade. It'd be like that sometimes, but I have to flex it. Samir, what do you think about the flex? Samir, what do you think about the flex? It can't even get in the shot. That's how it is. How can you even get in the shot? All right, here's like the key,
Oh, we got it.
Samir, nice. we got it. All right, but Samir, what did you think about this reveal?
I think it was great. It wasn't a surprise to me because I didn't see it live. You just sent me the link and the thumbnail was already there, so I was like, okay, thanks for spoiling it. But I think that they're never lacking on these Super Smash reveal trailers. And since Sora is the most requested character of all time, I think making him the last DLC character was great.
I was absolutely ecstatic about it. Me and Zen actually had a chance to watch it live. So when it was actually not confirmed who the character would be, and straight up when that Keyblade showed up, I was like, bruh. So it was like it was pretty crazy. I'm glad they marketed KH1 Sora, not KH3. Number 3 was crap. Like what? Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3 is bad. Oh no, I don't agree with that. But this can lead to a fight, so I'm not even gonna start. But yeah, so Sora has been confirmed for Super Smash Bros. He's the final character, the final DLC. The game is finally kind of coming to a conclusion. And it's safe to say me, Zion, and Samir are very hyped. But Umar, who is still stuck in the vines of KH1, what do you feel about it? About the vines and the vines you have never escaped from, and the character showing up.
Yeah, the vines are not it. They are it's a hard level to cross for your boy. I usually don't play these type of games. I'm always playing 2K with one team.
God, why did you admit that publicly? All right. Yeah, but are you going to be using Sora in Smash Brothers when the 4 of us play together?
Of course.
Right.
That's my guy.
Of course. Yeah.
That's my main. That's probably gonna be
Oh, it's your main. Oh, okay. Because I was thinking it was gonna be my main. But all right.
Nah, your main is always gonna be Link. That's not even.
Okay. All right, it's true. But yeah, we all obviously are pretty excited about it. And Kingdom Hearts is a big part of my childhood and my adulthood. So, and we barely ever get to bring it up on a stream. So I will take 5 minutes out. I decided I'm gonna take 5 minutes out today to talk about it, because otherwise, when else can you possibly talk about it? They announced Kingdom Hearts 4 anytime soon. So I was like, hey, this is the right time. Let's talk about it. I even have my is it gonna show on camera? When we went to Disney World, right? I'm flexing everything today. I don't even care. I have the Farooqi Disney band where you can go into the rides and everything, right? But then the other side of it is there you go, yeah, is Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3. Sorry, Rhyme Slim, I know you hate Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora, but so this is I wore this on the whole trip from our vlog. Also, shameless plug for our Universal Studios Disney World vlog. It's on the channel, so check it out. Zion, did I ask your opinion of it? So what did you think?
Obviously, like Samir said, it's the whole world's been wanting this character, and we are part of that. We've been wishing for Smash Bros. Even before we had a Switch, before we even were able to play Smash Bros. We wanted to see Sora in the game. So just the fact that it's the final character and just the way he came out, the way it was presented, it was just perfect. And honestly, it is like finally like a dream that you had as a kid has come to reality. Sora's going to be fighting Mario.
Was that specifically the dream to Sora to fight Mario?
Actually, the dream was him fighting Donkey Kong, but yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if I'd be honest, like my three biggest sources of entertainment and like chill, relaxing kind of things was always like superhero stuff and then NBA basketball and Kingdom Hearts. So those three things are very important, but I only going to talk about like one of them, as Umar is now flexing the Lakers hat. Is today like a flexing day? You know, I have my Miami Heat hat over there, but I can't reach it.
I just want to say there's gonna be a 2. It's gonna be a 2 this year.
Okay, that's great.
2.
We're still in air right now, just because the last character wasn't Crash Bandicoot. We wanted it really badly.
I know. For him, Crash was so important. He even knows who it is. If I asked him who is Crash Bandicoot, he would know.
Of course. Go.
The dream is Sora versus Villager, bro. Because Villager is, I think, Azmina's main character. But one more quick topic that Samir, thank you for telling me on behind the scenes, and I'll be adding it in. Okay, so we got some look at some Black Adam costumes, and I'll just put a couple of them on the screen to see how I feel. And one for Hawkman as well. So this is I'm pretty sure some of this is going to be used in a featurette for DC Fandom. But I wanted to get quick thoughts from Samir, straight from you, since you're the one who showed this topic to me right now. Thanks for bringing it up. What do you think about this costume design, and specifically the texture, the layers? For me, it's much better than the Shazam costume, but the Shazam like layering. This reminds closer to Man of Steel. But what did you think about it?
I think Shazam, the Shazam costumes with the textures were better. I think this is supposed to be gritty, so it's like that. But I think the Black Adam symbol is much better than the Shazam symbols. Where the Shazam symbols were looking like extremely tiny, but this is like full chest. It looks great.
And what about the Hawkman? Do you have any thoughts about Hawkman's armored?
Hawkman's the ears are looking kind of long. Maybe I think it'll look kind of goofy in the movie, maybe, but right now it looks fine.
1 second, I just messed this up. Put this back on the screen. Remove this. Umar, do you have any hot take on any of these costumes, particularly?
No, they look pretty generic, to be honest. They look good. I think with any costume, you need the CGI, especially like Black Adam, these types of things. You need the full look at the end to really gauge like if they do a good job. Like half the process is just gonna be like the CGI. So
yeah, I think anyone who grew up with Justice League cartoons, for Hawkgirl is obviously a character that we all want to see. And then Ramsam also, I think you've been always super hyped for Black Adam, man. So I'm happy that you get to enjoy it when whatever they show at DC Fandom. But yeah, I think there is some. It's a dark horse. You know, the last time I called a superhero film a dark horse, it was Venom 1, and I regret for saying that. But I'm gonna call Black Adam a dark horse for next year.
Yeah, you're probably gonna regret this one too, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think the chance that it could be really good. I'm not saying that it's just only because maybe Henry Cavill will show up in it. I'm just saying because I'm not just saying because Superman might cameo. I'm saying overall because the vision, the scope. I think The Rock, you know, he's the visual right fit, but can he act the part? That remains to be seen, because he's kind of become typecast into all these jungle movies like Jungle Cruise and Jumanji, and he's the same movies all the time.
Also, but, don't worry, Superman won't show up.
No, of course not. I know that. I'm not.
Henry Cavill didn't sign that contract, so I don't even know if the contract exists anymore.
Let's just say it's a safe bet he ain't showing up unless it's for 5 seconds in The Flash, and that's gonna be reused footage from Man of Steel. But then again, we're used to reuse footage, aren't we? That was a Justice League reference.
The thing about Black Adam is they casted Henry Cavill for the look, so since they casted The Rock for the look, it's really whatever, you know. It's not casting, just work. So
I said this 100 times, you can't. There's all I'm getting again. You always cast Batman by can you act the part? And you always cast Superman if can you look the part. And there's not much of a crossover there. Like but you don't need too many acting chops to play Superman. I think that's why they've casted kind of people to have these days. I think we're pretty much out of topics now. So I'll do the one fun topic that once again provided from Samir. Who, Tyler?
Yeah, he doesn't look like Superman.
Yeah, but apparently, and I'm still haven't fully seen the show, but apparently people are saying it's quite good. Like it's actually like not like CW-ish. Like it's pretty good. So, but I don't know. Remains to be seen. I don't know for Umar, like his favorite show is Legends of Tomorrow, but that's just him.
I've never watched an episode of that show, and I never will.
All right. Let me show the one funny question of the day, and anyone who's still watching this can definitely answer what they think. So we have to get rid of one of these sweets. And for whoever's new on this, like every week we usually do a food topic, or we do some kind of stupid question like this where we have to pick or choose or let go of one thing forever. So this week we're going with these 4 dishes. So you got pancakes, you got waffles, you got French toast, and you got cinnamon buns. One you got to let go of for the rest of your life. Xian, which one are you letting go?
This is beyond easy, beyond obvious. The cinnamon bun, just gone. I even right now, I can go without it for the rest of my life.
I'm deeply hurt by that. Samir, do you agree with Xian, or do you have your own hot take?
I completely disagree. Xian is losing his mind, okay? Because French toast is obviously the out. Obviously.
I hate you, Samir.
You've never had like stuffed French toast. Like you don't know what it's about. You're not about that life.
No, you guys are losing it. Now you guys are all losing.
Trauz, what's yours? I want to see. I'm wondering what Trauz like.
I'll never tell you. No, I don't disagree with everybody. Actually, the one I would give is also cinnamon buns. Honestly, yeah. I you know what? This is I could give it to pancakes too. I could.
That's what
pancakes are the best one there.
No, it's not. The best one there is French toast.
Yeah,
you couldn't go wrong.
Yes,
yeah, the best one is French toast.
Is a good French toast.
A good French toast is better than the rest of these. This is facts. Big facts.
No, a good warm fluffy pancake is unmatched.
A bad pancake is better than the best French toast.
No, that's huge L's right there.
Even I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah. You ever had bad pancakes? Like Umar, it's because you hate eggs. Umar, can you tell us what is your least favorite?
What's my least favorite?
Yeah, one had to go. Like one has to go. So which one are you letting go forever?
It's probably it's similar to yours, like your opinion. It's either pancakes or cinnamon buns.
But make a choice.
If I was to make a choice, just to disagree because we always agree, I'll go with pancakes. I'll let go of pancakes. I'll have the other 3 things.
All right, let's see what the chat is saying. We got French toast as the worst. Big disagreements. Waffles got to go. Right. I disagree. Actually, no. Yeah, I disagree with that. Cinnamon buns. I agree. That has to go.
You might have to rethink your life, son.
We have a lot of cinnamon bun fans. Waffles have to go. It ain't even a question, bro. What are y'all saying? Obviously, the worst of all of these. Samir is the only one that's right. All right, so I will die on the hill that French toast is the best.
French toast isn't even better than waffles or pancakes. It's 3rd on the list.
That's true. No, it's 4th on the
list. So what's so now everyone give their best thing on the list. What's the best thing on the list?
Obviously pancakes.
It's pancakes.
Umar?
It's French toast. A good, well-made French toast beats everything else.
I agree with Umar. A well-made French toast, like even the way it's shown there, a little bit of powdered sugar, a little bit of strawberries next to it. It's classy. It works.
It's just bread.
Okay, everything else is too.
At least the others are in like fun shapes.
It's like same.
I know you have to eat everything in fun shapes. I guess animal crackers are your favorite food then.
I do. I need everything to be very creative on the plate.
I will say pancakes aren't bad. It's just they're kind of the most generic also. Now waffles and pancakes are interchangeable. Waffles I think are
I like waffles.
Yeah, I do. So I agree.
Like by a hair.
It's just Brent, the other fun shapes. Now you've made that something to quote. But yeah, this is we're getting, yeah, I don't know. This one will never be fully answered because we'll always disagree. But it is what it is. So, all right, I think that's enough to wrap for today. What do you guys think about the Flash rumors? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Do you even believe it? You can let us know in the comments below. If you have seen James Bond: No Time to Die, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below as well. Next week, not streaming, but instead we're going to be covering DC fandom pretty closely throughout the day. So any trailers, any big reveals, you can expect us to cover it right there and then on Saturday. So we'll see you then. From myself, from Zion, from Umar, and from Samir, we're the Farooqi Bros, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.